Next up, we have Darren Gibbons, President and CEO of ThoughtFarmer. ThoughtFarmer is a social intranet software product developed by Open Road Communications Limited. Darren has led Open Road since starting the company in 1995 and ThoughtFarmer since 2007. ThoughtFarmer enables innovative organizations to share knowledge, engage employees, and foster collaboration. It's used throughout the world at organizations such as eHarmony, Electronic Arts, Mountain Equipment Co-op, and Penn State University. Everybody welcome Darren Gibbons.
Thanks, Dean. I'm going to tell a story about how we've made a switch from a services company to a product company. And I know, just in talking, I know a lot of people have tried this in the past and have failed, but it's worked for us, and so I want to try to share our story and what's worked for us. So we first had the initial idea for ThoughtFarmer back when we were doing consulting services engagements with companies, and we were really frustrated with the quality of the intranet tools that were available out there. We had some great ideas for product. We looked for it. We couldn't find it in the marketplace. So we went out and we developed an initial, okay, that's somebody else's slides. There we go. I'll put this away. we developed, I don't need that. We developed an initial prototype for the product, and an RFP came out from a customer. And so we responded to it and we said, hey, you should use this. We demoed our prototype. Luckily for us, they purchased it, but they also purchased a number of enhancements and consulting services on top of that. So we took that time, we took those enhancements, we rolled it back into the product, it became stronger. We saw another opportunity with an existing customer. They actually did not come to us to purchase ThoughtFarmer. We demoed it to them, showed it would be a great feature for them, and they too purchased more services, they purchased a license for it, and we were able to grow the product. It took us about a year after the first prototype to actually have something that worked. We set up a website, bought some Google AdWords. The next day, we started getting phone calls from people that wanted to buy. That was a really exciting feeling. From there, we went on to our first sale to a company actually based in London, and then since then, it's been growing steadily ever since. Last year, our revenue grew 50% over the previous year. This year, our revenue grew 100% over last year. So what are some of the lessons in terms of the challenges in taking a services company and actually building a product within it? There's a couple of pros. There's a couple of real benefits there. The first one, you can get to revenue really quickly because you're selling professional services, which typically, if you know what you're doing, if you're smart and you can get things done, you can sell that easier than a new product. You're actually building this product alongside of a customer as well, too. In the market, you're actually able to see and respond to what people are trying to do. And finally, you actually have a couple of customers you can even sell this to when you're done. You've got a customer list that you can go and approach. In our case, we forecasted sales to our existing customers being a lot higher than we thought it would be, but that didn't exactly happen. That said, there's definitely a lot of challenges in taking a services company and turning it into a product firm. As a CEO of a services company, you're going to be a lot more risk averse than you are with a product company. So one of the challenges for me was I really had to push myself and say, okay, I need to be able to take more risks, be able to try new things, and go out there into the product space. Another challenge is, just internally inside your organization, when you're first getting that product off the ground, you're going to have no revenue coming in on it, and you can have a services firm that's going to be generating revenue but bootstrapping the product side of things, and that's going to cause a lot of tension inside your organization. So it's critical, one, to really kind of separate those two groups and put a sandbox around that. It's also really critical to pick a product that you can get to revenue really quickly. Some of the other things to keep in mind. When you're following this model of taking a product, letting your customers request features, charging them for those features, rolling it back into the product, it's great because you're making sales on a license. You're also making revenue they're paying for your research and development effectively. But what you really have to watch out for is that they're not setting your product direction. You've got a broader, long-term product strategy that you're trying to build towards. And this is going to have to mean sometimes saying no to clients that have money that they want to spend it with you, which can be difficult. Saying no to their money because it may not be the right fit for your long-term product vision. Another tip, just to keep in mind, watch your license agreements. Make sure that if you're doing work with a consulting services group or in a consulting engagement, that you actually own the rights to the software you're developing. Sometimes in a work-for-hire engagement, that rights may be owned by the client. If you then try to turn it into a product, you're going to have a problem. I think my last tip, so we built ThoughtFarmer just on revenue. We were able to get it up and running, I think probably within the first year. And with year 2, we were making money off of it. We did that with no sources of outside financing, no VC, no debt, no angel investors, but we did take advantage of the SR&ED program. I'm sure you've all heard about it. Definitely take advantage of it. Software is a bit more difficult for SR&ED. It's kind of more on the experimental development side of the SR&ED spectrum. We did our first claim ourselves, and since then we've worked with a consulting firm. I definitely recommend working with SR&ED firms. That's it for me.
All right. Thanks very much. Good job. There was a lot of concern about whether they could get such great messages across in 5 minutes, but I think they're doing a great job. Really key point here was the way that he was using the creation of services revenue to fund the development of the company, the growth of the company, right? So we hear it day in and day out how there's a huge gap in financing for companies that are looking to start out. And while the financing environment is a lot more challenging than it has been in the past, that doesn't mean there's absolutely zero opportunity for technology entrepreneurs to find ways to fund their business. And that's why we're here, to try and hear from some of the entrepreneurs as to how they've done it. And for those of you that may be asking, SR&ED stands for Scientific Research and Experimental Design. It's a Canadian revenue agency program that, for lack of a long-winded way to put it, will give you money back for money that you spend in R&D. There's a lot more to it than that, but it's a definite opportunity for any startup entrepreneur looking to help fund their business.